Before we get started with this episode, I have a few requests. Download the Talk Music Talk app. It is free for iPhone and Android, wherever you get your apps, or you can subscribe on iTunes or Google Play. Once you do, just leave a rating and or review in the store to help spread the word about the podcast. Second, share this episode on social media if you enjoy it. Facebook, Twitter, however you like to do it. It will help spread the word about the podcast. And finally, I am in the process of acquiring advertisers and sponsors, and I need your help. Just take a quick survey on my website at talkmusictalk.com/survey. Should take you 30 seconds or less, and it would be greatly appreciated. And now for today's show. Hello there. Welcome to episode 113 of Talk Music Talk with Boyce. I am your podcasting host. For the first-time listener, Talk Music Talk is a weekly music interview podcast where I have long-form conversations with people who are connected to music, musicians, singers, songwriters, music therapists, and music journalists from all different backgrounds and genres, talking about their lives in music, their work. And on episode 113, I had the pleasure of speaking to Eric Nizgretsky. He is the frontman and vocalist of the New York band Loose Buttons. They make smart indie pop, and they have a new EP coming out on February 24th. It is called Sundays with Loose Buttons. This is a short interview, short but great, with Eric. We discuss his background, his personal background, how he got into music. We talk about the formation of Loose Buttons, how the band came to be and its brief history. A 4-piece band. We talk about the other members in it, how they met, some Miami University roots there, the goals and direction of the group, and of course we talk about Sundays with Loose Buttons, the EP, the inspiration behind it. It details the end of a relationship that Eric had. It goes deep into that. And we also talk about what does pop music mean, because that's what they make. Credible, intelligent, smart, catchy pop music. There is no shame in that. You will hear 2 songs from the EP since this is a short show. Why not play 2 songs? Milk and Roses and the new single, Am I the Only Reason? Right after the conversation with Eric, here it is, without further ado, Eric Nizgretsky of Loose Buttons. Enjoy. Since I, in my researching of you, know very little, so why don't we just go back?
Okay.
Okay, where are you from originally?
I'm from New York.
Okay, what part?
Was born in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Parents split. Mom moved to Manhattan. Mm-hmm. Spent time in Manhattan.
Okay.
Met some of my bandmates in Manhattan. Uh-huh. Then went down to Miami for college.
Okay.
Met a few more of my bandmates.
Uh-huh.
And then came back to New York and said, I need to hit a third borough. Okay. So moved to Queens, and here we are now.
Okay. So what part of Brooklyn?
Pretty deep, near like Sheepshead Bay.
Okay.
And then
what train stop is it? How far are we? Like last stop of something.
You'd have to take the Q and then take like 2 buses.
Okay.
It's pretty deep.
Yeah. How long were you there till your parents split?
My dad stayed till I was about 17, and then moved to Park Slope.
Okay.
Which is much easier to get to.
Yes.
So I kind of, so my parents split when I was about 9. Mm-hmm. So I would go back and forth between Manhattan and Brooklyn.
Okay. Brothers, sisters?
I have a stepbrother who's pretty much my brother.
Okay.
He actually manages the band.
Oh, really? Okay.
And he's just family.
Yeah.
He's family to all of us. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Is what's the age difference?
2 months.
Okay.
2 months. So we it was nice growing up having like a best friend constantly. Yeah. So it's great. Never asked for a brother, but I got one, which is the best thing you can have.
Especially if it's one you like.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. We just celebrated his birthday. He's a legend.
Yeah.
This guy is something else.
Okay.
So.
Because, there's people walking around with people they didn't choose. And
yes.
It's not working out
You
that great.
You can't always choose family, but I'm lucky that I got to choose this one as my family. So
is musical family?
It's funny, not as musicians, but we love music as a family. My dad would just play music constantly.
Yeah.
And
what was some of his stuff that he?
I remember him playing a lot of Tom Waits.
Okay.
And that kind of resonated with me. But I think the first album that like turned me into a musician was Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
It's a great album.
Yeah, he played that, and I think that was the first moment where I was like, I want to play music.
Okay.
I think I heard Anthony Kiedis sing, and I was like, he doesn't have a great voice. I can maybe make this work as well. So it was just, it like fit my the way I was feeling.
Yeah.
So
you're thinking of singing, being a singer?
Yeah, it was a kind of, I always had that personality to be a frontman. And then you kind of just start learning how to put it all together. And I would like write words, and then you kind of just put it all together, and now here we are.
So were these like melodies in your head, or are you playing on an instrument?
There were melodies that were incoherent.
Okay.
And then I picked up the guitar, started learning how to play guitar, and through picking up the guitar, you start understanding melodies and kind of notes in a scale and rhythms. And I kind of started putting it all together.
Was it self-taught?
Pretty much. I had a few lessons to teach me the basics, but I kind of hated playing scales. I'd much rather like study songwriting. And, you know, I remember like hearing like Pink Floyd records and just being blown away by the songwriting there. And I was more interested in songwriting ever than like shredding on the guitar.
Okay.
So.
And what was so was there a thread between Pink Floyd and Chili Peppers for you?
Not really a thread. I mean, it was kind of just my dad passing music on to me. He was the musical curator of my life, I would say. And then through that, you kind of start opening up your mind to other music. Yeah. And you start learning about other types of music, and I found a lot of music on my own. And then, you know, you hit once you hit Radiohead, you really start becoming a musician and start pushing your mind that way. So,
was that one of the first ones on your own that sort of affected you?
Yeah. OK Computer was one kind of I found sitting. The CD, it's one we had CDs in Walkman, and I had my own personal Walkman, so I'd put it in, and I heard Karma Police, and I was just like, oh my God. I think I played it at like a talent show when I was 8 years old. Or 9 years old or something like that. And
the whole thing?
The whole thing. The whole thing. So
are you thinking, were you starting bands or anything like that?
Yeah, I met the guitar player in Loose Buttons, Zack, in sixth grade. And I saw him, and he was pretty much the only guitarist in the school. Yeah. And I was like, all right, we're going to start a band. He's like, all right. And we kind of started a band when I was, 11? 11. And we've been playing music together since. And
you were writing original stuff from the beginning?
Yeah.
Covers?
He was writing, I was writing, and that was like kind of the beginning of the collaboration between us. And then fast forward a ton of years, and here we are.
What did the early stuff sound like?
Awful. Pretty awful. But I think we needed it to get to where we are now. So, I mean, at least we can laugh about it now.
Yeah. And was that going to be the core of the group?
Yeah. I guess you could say so.
Okay. And then from there, like you'd go to school. Where do you go to school?
I went to the University of Miami.
Okay. And what'd you go for?
For music business and songwriting.
Okay.
And then my freshman year roommate is the bass player in the band, Manny. Okay. And I begged him to join the band, and he turned me down a ton of times. Yeah. And then I finally convinced him.
Okay, why did he turn you down?
I don't think he liked the music. And then once he joined, we started all figuring each other's songwriting styles out. We had another drummer, and it wasn't working out with him. Our drummer Adam was in another band. Okay. And we stole him. We're like, you're going to enjoy playing in our band a lot more.
When did you start getting good?
Once he joined the band. Okay. He'll be happy to hear that.
What did he add as the last piece?
He added his swagginess to it. He's another very interesting person and an incredible musician. And I think just pushed us to never be complacent. Which is something that really happens to bands.
Okay.
They become very complacent and in their own, start thinking that everything they're doing is great. And he kind of constantly pushed us to evolve.
Okay.
And because of that, Zack started evolving, Manny started evolving, and I definitely started evolving in the melodies I was writing and lyrically what I was writing.
Okay.
So,
how did that look? What did it look like when he was pushing you to evolve?
it was, it felt pretty natural. It felt like it was a good voice sitting right behind, just kind of telling us, you got to keep on, make this melody better. What if we change the time signature, things like that.
Okay.
It helped our minds a bit. So.
Okay. And so you went for music, business, and songwriting.
Yes.
So what made you, because that's good to have the business behind you.
I think that the most important thing is the industry constantly evolves, and it's changing drastically every few years, every 2 years really.
Yeah.
I really wanted to get a good grip of how to promote the art that we were making.
Okay.
Because you have to, this whole game is about hustling and really pushing your music without being too gaudy about it. So I really wanted to learn, and I think the social media landscape really changed how music is consumed. So I really wanted to understand, how can I get my music out there, our music out there. So.
And they taught you that music business about social media and promotion, or you had to learn that?
To be honest,
off on your own.
I think I learned a lot of it on my own.
Yeah.
But the program forced me to be hungry about finding it on my own.
Okay.
So I'm thankful for that.
And how does songwriting, majoring songwriting, what do you?
It kind of, it was more of a rewind through history, and you kind of start figuring out, through folk music, the different chordal structures and how melodies interact with those chordal structures. So I look at it as a big history class more than anything else, and then through that history class, I was able to figure out how to turn it into modern pop music.
Yeah.
I mean, what we do is pretty much pop, but we definitely add our edge to it.
Okay.
I love good pop music.
Yeah. Because it sometimes feels like people kind of feel like they shouldn't like pop, or it has to be. I mean, more important.
People think Katy Perry's pop, but really, the Beatles were pop. Elvis Presley was pop. So kind of the genre, the definition of the genre changed, but at the core of it, we're writing pop songs.
Yeah.
With melodies. So.
In school, did you have to turn in assignments of songwriting, or you were doing that off on your own?
No, we had to. I should have taken it more seriously, but I cared more about my own songs.
Okay.
That didn't fit a criteria, and fit what professors would want. So I focused more on what I would want to write about than what my professor would want.
So what would they give you, an assignment where you have to write about a specific theme, or? Yeah,
and kind of more in the style of different artists.
Okay.
So you'd have to write. I once had an assignment where I had to write in the style of Eminem, which was probably actually the most exciting assignment I ever had, because it's so different than what I do. But the way he strings lyrics, it's incredible.
Yeah.
He's really no different.
10 interior rhymes.
Exactly. He's really no different than Bob Dylan. It's just he's rapping it, and Bob Dylan was rapping a lot as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of similarities there. So that was really interesting to understand.
Okay. So going to college, you finish up, right?
Yes.
And what are you expecting to do with your what you learned? Was it always just going to be the band?
I always knew that I was going to come back to New York, and every member of the band made a deal with each other, and we said we're going to go get 9-to-5 jobs, and we're going to also try to work our way up in another industry just in case this quote-unquote dream doesn't work out. So we all have our jobs, our desk 9-to-5 jobs. I'm a publicist. Manny, our bass player, he works at making guitar pedals. Our guitar player Zack, he's a graphic designer, and then our drummer Adam, he works at an opera management firm.
Okay,
he loves the opera.
Yeah,
so we all kind of wanted to work our way up in another industry as well, so that we were prepared just in case this doesn't work out. And then once work ends, we all meet up here and rehearse and write and record and play shows, and then start it over again the next day.
Okay. Because it seems like if you're all to have that idea of the 9 to 5 jobs, that you don't have to worry about the music like supporting you. That you don't have to make desperate choices.
Exactly. It allows us to, make music fun as opposed to, I mean, the dream is, of course, to have this be our lives every day, but we don't feel that extra pressure because we have a steady income. We feel that we can come into the studio and let loose, as opposed to this is do or die, which is a really nice luxury to have. So we're pretty blessed in that.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. And the publicist thing, that connects to.
yeah.
So what was like the first recorded music stuff you start releasing?
With Loose Buttons, we released this EP called Damage Gallery, and that was what we really consider our first body of work.
Okay, when was that? What year was that?
Was it 2014? 13 or 14.
Okay.
The years are starting to blend together. So one of those years, we put out Damage Gallery, wrote those songs, and that was, I think, the first body of work that we felt really happy with and comfortable with. And then shortly after that, Adam joined our band, and that's where we really started evolving and becoming the band that we really are now. And we're still evolving. We're still figuring out our sound. And this EP that we're putting out on February 24th. Sundays, yeah.
Or is it Sundays with Loose Buttons? What do you prefer?
We call it Sundays with Loose Buttons, but the EP is actually called Sundays.
Okay.
And that's where like we kind of feel like it's starting to come together. And then we're doing the same we're still writing, and we're already starting to write for what will be our debut album.
Okay.
That probably won't come out for a while, no one knows. But we've got this EP that we really, really are happy with. So.
How would you say the Damage Gallery, between the difference between that and Sundays with Loose Buttons?
I think they're just, the songs are just more cohesive from start to finish. And I think that they're a little bit, we touch on emotions a little bit more, I would say. And we're kind of more delicate in moments, dynamically, and then there's moments where we're the hardest we've been, which is what we are as a band.
Okay.
We're tender and soft, but yet we're rough and hard at the same time.
When you need to be.
Exactly. So.
And all four equally writing, or?
Yeah. Okay. The idea is, the initial idea might come from me or Zack, but I always say that a Loose Button song doesn't become a Loose Button song until Manny and Adam put their touch on it. Okay. They're just melodies and words, really, before those two come in. And those two dictate the vibe of the song, which is very important that I saw in this EP, was the vibes of the song were very cohesive. Okay. And the songwriting that Zack brought was incredible, and again, it was just very cohesive. Is a good word for it to use.
Do you write most of the lyrics? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
But with everything with the band, we're so collaborative. So I write the lyrics and I bring it to the guys. I'm like, I've got pages here. Yeah. Maybe let's condense it to the best parts. And they're really hard on me in a great way. And they're like, this is really good. This is bad. But I have these lyrical themes in my mind. And this EP was, the theme kind of was surrounded around a breakup. Okay. That was the first time that I had to think maturely. It was kind of the switch that was like, you're kind of becoming a man a little bit more. And you have to understand that things end. Why do they end? And our song, Am I the Only Reason, kind of really touches on that. It was the first time that looked inside
Yeah.
as opposed to pointed fingers.
Okay.
Which is I found now to be a very like childish thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to see where you've done wrong
Okay.
to move on.
Was it hard to write like that?
I think it was just the first time that it was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It was difficult. But I learned that it's the only way to write now. You know? It's the only way to like really tap into exactly how you're feeling. Because that's where you're going to feel most comfortable with the body of music that you're creating. And for me, I love that song. I love all these songs.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, is it hard sharing that something so deeply personal?
Definitely. But at the same time, it's very therapeutic.
Okay.
Because at the same time, these songs are so relatable. Everybody's gone through a breakup that they can't believe happened.
Yeah.
Everybody does. And you only start realizing that once you go through it.
Yeah.
And once I started writing these lyrics, I was like, wow, other people are dealing with this as well. So it worked.
Great. So how many songs did you, there's what, 4 in the EP?
There's 4 in the EP.
4 in the EP. Did you like write more than that and then whittle it down?
We had about 5 or 6 ideas. And Milk and Roses, which is the last song on the EP, the first song we released, was the last song written for the EP. And it was between that and another idea we had, and we decided to run with Milk and Roses. And then the other ideas we had, we said, we'll save it for the album.
Okay.
So that's what we're working on now.
Okay. So is the album going to be like a continuation of the EP?
I think it's going to be more of a growth on the EP. I'm not sure what the lyrical themes will be, because we've already started evolving, and we needed this EP to happen so that we can evolve even more. But I think our sound is it'll be a better version of the EP, and that's what we hope. That's what we hope, but you never know. We might have already hit our peak.
You'll find out. The year's early, right?
Exactly. We'll see what the reviews say.
Yeah. So what do you plan for the rest of the year, like touring?
We're going to be doing a residency at one of our favorite venues in New York, Pianos. So we're going to be playing every Wednesday in February at 8 p.m. at Pianos. So that'll hold us over pretty much all of February.
Okay.
And then March, I know we have some stuff being worked out. Not 100% sure yet, but I will let you know the second we find out. And then we've got a video that we're going to be doing, releasing a few more songs, doing more press. Trying to get this EP out to as many people as possible, so they can relate to the breakup that I had.
How do you guys remain friends? Because that can be challenging.
I think that truly at the end of the day, we are friends, and we're brothers who happen to play music together. I don't think that any of us look at each other and say, "Oh, we just play music with these guys."
Yeah.
We spend so much time together, kind of bullshitting and doing all that stuff, that we sometimes forget that we're in a band, or at least I do. I look at these guys as my best friends, and who happen to see me in my most vulnerable state. So we always chill at my place, and we drink, smoke, and have a good time. And I think that really allows us to be a band. And then when we come in here, that's when we zoom in on work, and then we can just hang out outside of our jobs here.
When you started bringing in breakup songs, did they know? Was that new to them that you were going to be riding in that direction?
I think they knew that it was going to happen because of what I was going through.
Okay.
And I also learned that I can't fake it. I can't start writing about songs that I'm not feeling.
Yeah.
And that's what I really learned through this EP, is that it's not going to come out truthful or honest if I'm not being honest with myself. So the guys knew what I was going through, and they were there for me from step 1 to step 4. And I needed them the most, and they were there for me, and that's why we wrote this EP, and that's why I'm so happy with it. So,
and is there what was the I guess, a period from the breakup to writing the songs? Like, did you have trouble writing? Or are you ready to jump right into it?
A lot of the songs were actually, the main thoughts were already there before even the breakup happened. Okay. And I write so many lyrics, and I'm constantly changing the lyrics and tweaking the lyrics. And a lot of the songs actually had major rewrites lyrically right before we started recording them. Because I started to understand that the word, I just wanted to be more honest again. So a lot of the lyrics were rechanged, and I went to the band and I was like, guys, here are the books. Yeah. Or, the pages of lyrics that I have. What are we thinking? And they helped me go through it and figure it out, and we reworked a lot of the songs. Okay. So
that's exciting, dude.
yeah.
So the album probably next year.
Yes.
Yeah, probably next year. Loose Button. Loose Button, is that the Gertrude Stein reference? Is that why?
No, If that makes you happy, it is. We're not even going to go through the background of the name.
I have not read her, but I saw Loose Buttons.
Yeah.
Okay. I never ask about
the
band names, but I was just curious.
Especially with ours, there's a lot of history there. That will last the whole interview, just discussing that. So whatever you want to make of the name, it's all yours.
What about the Reader's Digest version? The tweet version. The
tweet version is... now whenever I think of tweets, I think of our incoming president. So,
okay.
The tweet version of it is we had a much longer name that got cut down.
Okay, that was Sins of
Loose Buttons, which was the young us.
Okay.
We sound really bad, but we need this to figure ourselves out.
Yeah.
Loose Buttons became just the maturation of that. And that's the quick version of it.
That's a good version.
Quick one.
Yeah, I like that. and I'm going to test out, you're my guinea pig today.
Yes, please.
You ready for this?
Yes.
Test out a new segment on the show. Last thing. An album or artist who you can't imagine life without.
My bandmates are going to laugh at me about this because they already know what I'm going to say. But I'm a very big Arctic Monkeys fan.
Okay. They're great.
They're amazing. Oh. And I get a lot of people say that I sound a lot like Alex Turner, which I take as a major compliment. Yeah. So either the Arctic Monkeys last record, AM, which was really a great record, or The Strokes' Is This It, their first record. I think that was a very influential record to our band, but to indie music since. Okay. I mean, there would be no Arctic Monkeys without The Strokes. Yeah. There would be no Loose Buttons without The Strokes. So maybe Is This It, actually, because...
What was that?
Is This It by The Strokes.
Okay, Is This It.
Because it was such an influential album.
Okay. Those are good choices.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
So you got the choices. Okay, cool. So best place for people to check out online, see what you guys doing, keep up to date.
Facebook would be great. We post a lot there. Instagram, we post some fun pictures of us.
Just Loose Buttons.
On Instagram, it's Loosen Up Your Buttons.
Okay.
On Facebook, it's Loose Buttons Music.
Okay.
And then we don't really tweet that much. So yeah, just check out those two platforms.
Okay, cool.
And our SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Which is Sins of the Loose Buttons.
Sins of the Loose Buttons.
Yes.
Because you didn't want to have to go back and...
You don't want to go change
and
URLs.
Lose your...
yeah. Google
your counts.
Exactly. So we actually just were very lazy.
Okay.
But it happens.
Anything I leave out, Eric?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool.
I don't think so.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. I wish you the best with the new project.
Thank you. Thank you.
And there you have it. 2 tracks from Loose Buttons, Am I the Only Reason? And kicking it off, Milk and Roses, both from the new EP Sundays with Loose Buttons, out on February 24th. Hope you enjoyed the interview with Eric. Again, they are on Facebook at Loose Buttons Music. I am online, of course, several places, several ways. TalkMusicTalk.com for more information on this very podcast. My personal website is thisisvoice.com, and you can find out more on my music and my books. I write novels, and I am also on Twitter and Instagram at thisisvoice. Voice is spelled B-O-I-C-E. Don't forget your call to action from the top of the show. Please share this episode on social media. Make sure you take the survey at talkmusictalk.com/survey. And finally, download the TMT app, free for iPhone and Android, wherever you get your apps, or you can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or Google Play. And especially if you are listening on iTunes, please leave a rating and or review to help spread the word. It really does help. I swear, it really does help. All you have to do is say, I enjoyed the podcast. Does not have to be this War and Peace review, just that, something simple. And once you have subscribed, I got a back catalog suggestion for you. Episode number 59 with Steve Garvin, New York-based singer, songwriter, 60s and 80s influence in his music, and great song on the episode, Don't Run Away. That's episode number 59 with Steve Garvin. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, and there will be a next time, this one's for you, Liz.